So, Diddy in the music industry. So, I'm only doing this video because within this side of the industry, those of us who are radio personalities and we've helped break music from a lot of artists, including Bad Boy and Rockland and Rockefeller and a lot of people who were in the news right about now who will probably be in the news in the next couple of months to come. So the inside talk, right, is like how was this working? Like what role did a lot of people play in a lot of this? And so I've been thinking, I've really been thinking about the years gone by that I've been in this industry. And one of the things that comes to mind is I used to make mixtapes or mix CDs or something like that, right? And so I think I still have a few of them. I recall going through certain, like for instance, on an 80-minute CD, I could probably squeeze in about 9 songs, 9 artists on a particular CD, right? So, and for those of you who are used to Apple Music and all this stuff, you wouldn't know what I'm talking about. This is for people who've been in the industry for a while and who've utilized different parts of technology. But my point is that over a period of time, I would go back and I would listen to CDs from whatever bracket of time. If I go back and listen to them, I could tell you. Well, there was a period of time where only Bad Boy was on the charts, right? And then there was a period of time where only Rockland was on the charts, and that's everything that R. Kelly touched. Bad Boy would be P. Diddy. Who else? Cash Money. There was a time where only they were on the charts, and so forth and so on. And I always found that to be weird, right? Until now. Why? What am I saying? So, in other words, if for those of us who are in, so I'm no longer in commercial radio. I'm in non-commercial radio, but I spent the bulk of my career, well, half of my career, in commercial radio. So, if you are trying to become an aspiring artist, right? Like KC was, or Cassie, I'm sorry, Cassie. A record label, 9 times out of 10, unless you had money behind you, unless you had star power behind you, or unless you were just that it person, you really didn't get any airplay. When I remember going through the playlist, we probably added about 1 new song a month, if that. And so the question would be, well, who determines who that artist is, right? Who determines why that song, why that artist, right? And so I always wondered about that, but we also knew that it was corporate, right? People who sit in their rooms and boards, wherever it is, or somebody that's responsible for picking out who they think is the talent, or whoever makes that decision. Well, now when we look back at the industry, I wonder how many of these artists were artists that were hand-picked and hand-selected because of something else that happened in the background or in the back scenes, or things that we may not know that may be coming out real soon. And so this sort of thought came to me when my wife and I, we were watching, I think it was Dateline, and they were talking about Diddy, and they were breaking down some of the things. And one of the things that Cassie's friend said, which is a young lady who broke this thing wide open with her lawsuit, was that she was supposed to come forth with a project that never came out. Never came out. Yet she spent all that time and all those years with Diddy, and he strung her along. So how many other people are out there like that? So for those of us who are in the industry, and so I'm in non-commercial, so we get an opportunity to play a lot more independent artists here because we're not confound or we're not constrained by what's called the beltway. That's the best way I can put it. But if you're in commercial radio, the best way I can explain this is if you're driving down the street and you're listening to the radio and you keep hearing the same song over and over and over again, right? You go, I got my car at 9 o'clock and here it is 1 o'clock and I hear that same song again. So that's a playlist. That song is on a loop. That's a whole nother story. But I guess my question is, how many of these artists or how many other people out there were subject to this kind of brutal behavior and promised deals that did not come forth, that did not manifest? This is a mess. It's a mess. And for those of us who understand this part of the industry, our question is, okay, the people who are making the decisions on what you hear on the radio and what is released, out of all the hundreds of thousands and millions of people out here creating music, why those few people? Why those few people? Do I have credibility? Yes. Go back. I'm not sure what platform you're looking at me on, but I've got photos. And I've got a 20-something year career of interviewing and speaking with artists to prove it. A lot of you all don't know who I am because mostly for the past 10 or so years I've been behind the scenes producing, but I have my own nationally syndicated radio show. I'm working on television right now. I co-produce talk shows, other music shows. So I do a lot in the industry. I've done a lot in the industry. Yeah. Yep. You got it. Somebody just said, it's the equivalent of selling your soul. That's exactly what it is. It's like selling your soul to the devil. Now, I'm not saying that there are some people out there who will sell their soul for fame and money and things of that nature, but not everybody. There are a lot of people who have morals, who have standards and codes, and they want to do business and they want to be successful the right way. And so, yeah. But as someone who helped break a lot of artists, and I'm talking to my fellow radio broadcasters here, especially those of you like me whom you've worked in various genres. Right now, I'm in smooth and contemporary jazz, but my previous stops have been top 10 and R&B and hip hop. So I've been in every type of genre, and so I think we're sadly mistaken if we think that this has only happened in hip hop. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. No, it hasn't. But anyway, I'm going to hop off here. I just thought I would lay that question out there for my fellow broadcasters in the industry. What are your thoughts? What are some of your thoughts? Because there's a period of time when only, like I said, Rockland music was out. And no matter what was on, my former program directors, no matter what else was out, Rockland, which was R. Kelly's label, everything he touched and everybody he produced was out, right? They put it on the air. Like, who made that decision and why? And then he would fade off the scene, and then immediately after that, it would be Bad Boy. So if you didn't hear 112 or Total or somebody or Notorious B.I.G., it was always somebody from that label on the charts. Why? And then there were a few others that were like that. Jay-Z was another one with Rockefeller. There was a period of time when, all his stuff and everything that he touched was on the charts. And so for those of us who understand the music industry, and for those of you all who've been trying to get record deals and no one will return your phone calls, or funny things happen when you went to go visit that program director or that general manager, yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. But that it just makes me wonder, like, who is really making the decisions as to what ends up on the radio, what ends up on certain platforms and things of that nature. But I think to some degree, and I'm going to jump off here so I can read your comments. I'm sorry, y'all. But I think to some degree, I think that Spotify and Apple Music and the ability to write your own music and build your own website and put your own stuff out has leveled the playing field somewhat. So the more we hear about how Diddy uses power and authority to abuse people, the more some of this is making sense. Allegedly, I have to say at this point, allegedly. And he's not the only one. And there's another name that is coming to the top of the list, another hip-hop icon that I'm not going to call any names because, again, he has not been indicted. But I don't know. His name has been coming across up on the top of the list. I don't rely on one social media or one platform to get my news and information from. But I will say this person's name has been popping up on the top of the list in every single platform. So we'll see. So anyway, just wanted to share those thoughts with you and get some feedback from some of you all who have been in the industry, who might know exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, what do you think?